This is going to be a longer lesson. And the next video is going to do all the questions together because believe it or not, the questions are actually shorter. So we are doing boundaries. It's the last part of standard English conventions and the last SAT reading topic that we need to talk about. So let's talk about independent versus dependent clauses. An independent clause can stand on its own 2 feet. If we were to take that section out and put a period, it would pretty much work. A dependent clause is something that needs something else there first. So let's take a look at the independent plus independent thing on the side. If we have an independent thing, so something can stand on its own, and something else that can stand on its own, we either need to use a period, a semicolon, or a comma and a conjunction. And those are like for, and, nor, yet, but, things like that. So if we have 2 clauses that can stand all by themselves, they either need to have a period separating them or a semicolon with no extra words. The bear ran into the forest. The campers hid in their tents. So we could either separate them by periods or comma. We could do comma and the campers hid in their tents, comma, so the campers hid in their tents. Both are independent ideas, so they have to have a period, semicolon, or a comma and a conjunction. If we do independent and dependent, a dependent clause cannot stand by itself. It needs to have a subject and a verb somewhere else. So we're going to do the examples first. Because the bear ran into the forest, the campers felt safe. So if we just say because the bear ran into the forest, what? No, like we're having coffee because the bear ran into the forest. All right, what happened? Like there was a party? Like tell me what happened. That's a dependent clause. We need to know what happened. So because of that, we need to have a comma. And that's if the dependent clause comes first. If the dependent clause comes second, then we don't use a comma and it just flows. So the dependent clause is the bear. It's dependent because we need to know what happened. Because the bear ran into the forest, comma, comes first. Versus the campers felt safe because the bear ran into the forest. So that dependent clause clarifies the independent one, which is the campers felt safe. Then we have what they are calling independent and phrase. And so those are usually attached to the with a comma or no punctuation. And it basically describes what just happened. The campers felt safe running into their tents. Running into their tents is a phrase. It can't stand by itself. Who is running into their tents? We need to know the campers felt safe, but they were running into the tents. So our actions are, we're going to identify, are the clauses independent or dependent? Usually we use a semicolons for equals, like if it's about the same topic. The bear ran into the forest. The bear ran into the forest. The bear looked for honey. Still talking about the bear, we could do a semicolon. But because we switched from bears to campers, that's why we needed the and. We want to make sure we avoid comma splices. Comma splices are used when there doesn't the for, nor, so, no, but, so, yet, type, whatever, and after the comma. So we need to make sure that we always have those conjunctions keeping those clauses together. We also don't colons and dashes introduce or explain after we already have something going on. So like for the last one, the campers felt safe. That happened first. So that's why we have the dash or colon, in this case, the comma to explain. And then watch for fragments. All right, the next video is going to be all 7 questions. See you soon.